About a week ago, I bought a jacket off eBay, and at first, everything was great. But once it arrived, I had a couple questions. Namely, was this fake? Don't get me wrong, the embroidery was perfect, the small details were there, the hologram was, well, mostly okay, and it even came in an official North Face bag. However, there was a couple things that didn't add up. First of all, for an extra large, it didn't fit right. And then there was the price. You know what they say, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Which does beg the question, why is it so easy to buy counterfeit goods on eBay? Modern day counterfeits tend to be one of two things. Replicas, such as my lovely jacket, or knockoffs, such as this totally legit white Ralph t-shirt. But there's a couple things that make this just a little bit off, aside from the sleeves missing. But to truly understand what makes this a knockoff rather than a replica, we're going to need to look a bit closer. No, we're going to need to look even closer. Now for our point of comparison, we're going to be using this lovely, authentic Ralph Lauren shirt and taking a look at the logos and some of the little differences that make this more of a knockoff than a replica. Build quality, it's top notch. We've got the logo looking nice. We've also got the branding in here. But when we look at the t-shirt, or well, cut off at this point, we can see that very little of this remains true. First of all, build quality. It's flimsy, you know, I'm pretty sure you could catch a tan through this thing. There's also the fact that there's no branding aside from the logo. And speaking of the logo, it's clear when you put them side by side that both differ in quality and in appearance. The knockoff logo is clearly in a different pose. It's not looking to replicate Ralph's logo, it's just looking to look like it. And this is really significant because knockoffs aren't inherently illegal. In fact, if you look at a lot of affordable places to shop, such as like Primark, H&M, places like that, you go in there and you see that in fact half of what they sell is knockoffs of what the major brands are doing, and that's not illegal, it's just taking inspiration. However, if a company wanted to go to court and argue that this actually does infringe on the copyright, they're able to do that. The differences in these logos are sometimes when you see it spelt wrong. That's not a mistake because it's just been made poorly, it's actually to protect them from any sort of lawsuits. Something else I found really interesting about the counterfeit market is what happens when we zoom out. In fact, in a 2019 report, it was shown that 3.3% of the world's total trade was counterfeit. But after finding out how big a problem fake goods are, I was quite interested to find out what's being sold that's fake. And it turns out the main things are footwear, clothing, and electronics. Which, to no surprise, matches up almost perfectly with some of eBay's key markets. But the similarities don't stop there. In fact, the majority of counterfeit goods are sold through small package sales, which again matches up perfectly with sellers on eBay. So I'm starting to get towards the root of my problem. Counterfeit goods on eBay are just a match made in heaven. And this is something eBay are very aware of, but the way I see it, they only have two ways of tackling the problem. Option 1. eBay hire a workforce capable of monitoring and authenticating the over 1 billion listings on their website. Or 2. Make returns incredibly easy and straightforward. I'm bringing it back to the whole point of this video, my jacket. Let's find out how easy this process is. Basically, from the day the item arrives, you've got 10 days to submit a request for a return. Luckily for me, this was accepted straight away. And then all you gotta do is print out the returns information and get packing.
Oh, it's connected.
And it really is that simple. You just literally drop it off, everything's taken care of. I think I probably spent about 15 seconds in the post office, so 10 out of 10 for that really, can't complain. And I should get a refund, like in the next couple of weeks, I'll find out. But of course this is after the fact, it's retroactive. The damage has already been done essentially, and you're at the mercy of eBay's returns. So going forward, I've created a couple golden rules that I'm going to follow, and feel free to do the same, for how to avoid this happening in the first place when shopping for second-hand items online, namely clothes, but obviously applies everywhere.
1. Talk to the seller. This may seem obvious, but taking the time to have a little back and forth is a really good way to build that initial judgment.
eBay does this to some extent, but a lot of the time you don't get the replies that you're looking for. So there's another app I've been using, really breaking new ground here, that has been a bit more reliable for me recently.
I think I might be possibly the last person to discover Depop, but for me it's just been absolutely fantastic. It's so easy to speak to people, and so far so good.
Rule number 2, be realistic about price. Learn from my mistakes and remember, if it seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is.
And last but not least, 3. Have a plan B.
Because ultimately buying things from eBay and similar marketplaces always comes with this amount of risk, which everyone knows. It's a tale as old as time, or as old as eBay. But yeah, what I mean by this is, we all have the plan A of our stuff arriving, everything going swimmingly. Oh, I didn't just say that. Everything going well, you ending up with exactly what you wanted. However, there's always a chance this isn't going to happen. So just make sure you know the exact procedures that you're going to have to go through and what the processes are, so you can A, check that they exist and you're going to be able to get your money back, and B, so you don't have to panic when it arrives and you have a solid plan B. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I think probably time to take this jacket off. I thought I'd keep it on to keep some sense of consistency across me moving, and the video will be having about a gazillion different backgrounds. But yeah, feel free to leave a like and a comment actually, because apparently comments are really useful. So I want you to comment your favourite thing that you've bought on eBay. I don't really care, but you know, the algorithm and that. You scratch my back, I will not scratch yours, because I do not know who you are. It's anonymous, it's YouTube. Bye.